Hello, let's see how to set up the latest React 17 with Webpack 5. I'm using Ubuntu Linux. This works the same way in Windows or Mac OS. Let's start the terminal, make dir. So let's name our app as Counter app, and let's cd into it. Okay, so once this is done, let's initialize our project with npm. So npm init -y. So it basically answers yes to all queries in this package.json, and default values are given. So once this is done, let's install React and React DOM. So npm install react DOM. So now this is done. Now let's install all the dependencies, that is the Webpack, the loaders, and also the Babel. Okay, so let's install them. npm install f dependencies h Babel core, then Babel preset env, at Babel preset react Babel loader css loaders style loader node.sass. Okay, I'm using node.sass. You can just continue with css, that's okay, but node.sass is much powerful and it's much easier to write css. So Webpack and Webpack CLI, Webpack dev server, Webpack merge, so that if you are having multiple files, like if you are having separate file for config, like common Webpack file, and also for dev server, and for the production build, if you are having multiple files and if you wanted to merge it, we need Webpack merge package, and we'll have HTML Webpack plugin. So I think that's pretty much okay. So Babel core is basically a tool chain that is mainly used to convert our ES6 and beyond, and this code is converted into a backwards compatible version of JavaScript. So, and also it helps in older browsers and environments, and also Babel preset envs allows to use latest JX syntax, basically polyfilling our code. Okay, so and also we have installed several loaders. Loaders are just simply a transformation that are applied to our source code as a module. So they allow us to pre-process files as you import or load them. So that's basically done in React, create React app. So here we have to do all this manually. Okay, and also finally we have also installed the HTML Webpack plugin. Okay, this plugin just generate an HTML5 file for you that includes all your Webpack bundles in the body using script tags. Okay, now once that's done, let's create our source folder, and inside source folder let's create multiple files. Okay, let's go to the code in the Visual Studio Code. So we create a source folder, source, and inside the source folder let's create index.js, and let's create index.html. Then we need an app.js. Then we can create a style file app.sass. Okay, now let's create a simple app here. So I'm basically using shortcuts. This is the same, just it's much easier, and you can save time. So app, and let's create simple counter. Okay, so h1. So let's create h1, and our counter will be here, and let's create two buttons. So button, and this basically will add, and we have another button, this subtracts. Okay, just making it consistent. And in the counter, we'll have the counter here, so we'll just create the state. So const, we have counter, and we'll have the set counter, and we'll import use state. Initially we'll set it as 0. Okay, so now we need to increment. Okay, we can just simply do it on click, sorry, set counter plus and counter. There we need just add one. Is the current counter, and we are just adding one. Just we are going to use the same thing here also, but we are going to subtract -1, and that's it for the app. Now let's go to the index.js, and in index.js it's like the same way that we do with React. Create React app. What you are going to do, get the same thing. So React home from React home, that's it. And let's import the app here, app from app, and React home dot render our app, and document dot get element by. This is basically what we see in create React app. Okay, so now once this is done, I think this is we need to go to the HTML page, and yeah, I'm just using the shortcut, the same thing as what we do. So we'll create a div, and we give id equal to root. That's it, and that is also done. So basic styling, we can give any styling you want. For example, we're going to give the body and font family as Roboto, then sans serif, and I can define a font size if I want to px, okay, fine. And like I'm going to create a button class also. Okay, background, okay, and let's give some color. Okay, that's it. So okay, just basically an app Okay, so now our app is ready, but this is not going to work, so we need to configure Webpack. For that, initially let's create our Babel config file. Okay, so babel.config.json. Okay, and so presets. Okay, and we have at Babel preset env that we have installed, and inside presets, after presets ends, we'll have another at Babel preset react and for Babel preset react we can define the runtime. So I'll explain you in a moment what it is. So in the runtime we can define it like this. So runtime to automatic. Select this should be double inverter and double inverter. Okay, and yeah, I think that's it. So here, so as I explained, preset react helps to compile our React code, and also the runtime automatic enables us to use the latest features of React, that is React 17, that we need not import React in every file. See, in the app.js we are not having import React from React, so that is not required. Okay, so that's what we are defining in the Babel as runtime as automatic. So the imports are automatically done. So if you, for further reference, you can refer to the Babel website. It is clearly explained there. Now let's create folder for Webpack. So we are going to create 3 Webpack files, but actually it is not required. You can create one file and have all the configuration written there itself, but creating 3 files make it much easier to track. So in the root folder, let's create another folder called Webpack, and inside let's create 3 files. One is webpack.common.js, and another file webpack.dev.js, and one more production.js. Okay, so once this is done, let's write our common.js, and this is going to be a little bit of work. So in webpack common.js, let's path is equal to right clicking, and let's define the template. So this is available in the documentation that you can just go through and pick the right thing. So it's all about picking the right configuration. So everything is very well explained in the Webpack website. It's actually very easy. That's our, yes, again it's in the source folder, and we are going to look into our index.html file. Okay, fine. Now that's plugins is defined. Okay, now let's get the other module. Let's have the rules. So this is a set of rules when our Webpack bundles. Okay. So let's let's look for the CSS file, and for that let's do, yeah, so we are actually writing regex here to find the CSS file, and since I'm using SAS file also, I'm also defining that. And yeah, so we need to include to solve. This is basically in our source folder, so direct name and okay, and let's use, so for this is for loaders, so we'll have our style order as a loader, style order, and so there's some issues here, let's see. So test and okay, oh sorry, this rows should be inside the bracket. Okay, I'm missing it. Sorry for this. It's an object. Okay, so it's style order, and also we need CSS order. That we have already installed initially, and let's define some options. Import orders, so this basically enables local scoped CSS in CSS modules, and we have modules here, and in modules we are just creating our local identity name. This is actually the chunk that we are going to create when we bundle the CSS files. So the chunk name will be the name. Okay, and this is how it is defined. It's clearly you can see the documentation in the Webpack website. And we'll define hash and base 64. Okay, fine. So the modules and import orders, and that's it. Okay, so that's our rules we have written, and now we also need the SAS loader. Okay, so here we have the CSS loader, and now we need to define the SAS loader. So loader SAS loader, and yeah, option that's done. Now okay, so let's define another rule. That is, now let's check for our JavaScript file. So just for projects, JS file, and also the JSX file. And we will explode our non-modules. And let's use our Babel loader plugin that we installed. Okay, now I think that's done. So now now we need to work on optimization. Okay, so it's first of plugins, entry, then we have plugins, then we have module part. Now let's work on optimization. So optimization. So here actually it's very simple. We are just splitting our chunks, because actually what it does is when our Webpack compiles, we are going to create several files so that it can be reused effectively. Okay, so it's the best configuration. If you see in the Webpack documentation, is to give chunks to all. So there are like many options. The chunk is sync, something options are available that you can just check it out. And finally we will have the output. So output, and for the output we will define our path same way, the path dot resolve directory name, name, and the folder would be, let's have a build folder for this. So build. And I think that's it for our that's it for our common Webpack. This is going to be same for both dev and product. So now let's go to the dev.js. So we need to merge our common. So let's const merge. So this is a plugin that we already installed, Webpack merge. So we can import merge from Webpack, Webpack merge. Okay, and also let's import the common from our file. So it's in our folder itself, Webpack common.js. I think we need to do changes. It can throw it. And let's have const path equal to file path. Okay, so that's done, and let's go and module.exports. Let's merge our common. Okay, and now let's define some extra configuration. So our mode, so this dev, it's our actually this is going to be our dev configuration, that is we are going to run in our local development. So here we can just define the mode as development, and we can have the dev2. So dev2, this is something important. So we will have inline source message, basically help us to debug our code when we are in developer mode. So this actually like when our web browser compiles, it actually compiles into several, it minifies and compiles into several chunks, which is not easier for a developer to read and understand. So what happens is, like, when you define this one, whenever we debug this like, it will recompile back to our actually written code, and so that we can find these issues in the exact line. So that's what this dev tool inline source map, this is how it helps. And in the dev server, so that is okay, dev server content base. Okay, so from where we are actually taking the content that's in our dist, we are going to create a dist folder from there, and let's have it any port. So any port that we like, or by default it will be, I think it will, Webpack will load in localhost 8080. We can define our own port that we like. I think that's it for that server. And for the production, similar way, we need these two, just copy, paste, and module.exports, and this merge, comma, with production, and dev2 source map. That even in the production mode, sometimes, like, we need not have like a complex debugging in production mode, but still, if you are having some issues, if you wanted to debug, and we can make it into source map. If you are going to define it like the previously we have defined as inline source map, if you are going to do in that way, the issue is the compile time will be high for the production. So when we are going to build, the compile time could take longer. Okay, and there are some other options too, where we are not defining any source map, so that is the compile time will be much faster. Okay, I think this is the best configuration that is recommended by the Webpack. Safe. I think now our basic setup is completed, and now at the package.json we need to create the scripts to run our app. So let's go to the package.json. So we need not have this, we are not having any test setup, so let's define our start. And for the start, this is how Webpack is on. Webpack serve is the command to run this Webpack. So we will open our config, Webpack, and inside Webpack we'll have Webpack, so Webpack dev.js, and for the build script we can define it as Webpack config Webpack and our Webpack production JS. So but if we wanted to like clean build, we can define like, okay, clean and remove and the folder, and we can just build it like this. So the build is actually deleted each time we need to when we are going to build, and we can just find out So this is going to enable us to test clean build app. Okay, now let's see how our application runs. So let's open the terminal, npm start. Cool, now our project is running. So let's add, working, subtract, working. So I think we have some issues with styling. I think why the styling hasn't loaded here. Let's see. Okay, we haven't. Okay, let's import. Let's import styles from app.sass file, and I think we have defined buttons. Yes. So let's go in the source. Yes. Let's class name styles dot way here we can have class names and that's it. Okay, so I think this styles hasn't worked yet. I think we are missing some module here in the module, so I think this is because of SAS file. There is some issue with the configuration. So let's check the package.json. So in the package.json we have node SAS, that's okay, but I think we are missing the SAS. Okay, so let's install that one. So npm install like as a dependency itself SAS. Yes, now we have installed SAS. So let's try and recompile our app npm start. So again there is some issues. Let's see, cannot find app.css. Yes, so the issue is now different. Cannot find module app.css. We're missing Webpack, missing module. Okay, let's see. Let's go to this. Okay, so we have defined wrongly. Save, and I think let's compile and see. Again there is some issues. Let's see. Okay, so there is again issues. So let's see, I think we have missed something else. Let's see the package.json one more time. Okay, so we are missing the loader for SAS, so let's install that. npm install as SAS loader. Okay, I think this should fix the issue. So let's recompile now. Still there is some issues. So there is options of that don't match the schema. So there is some options that we have written it in incorrect way. Okay, now so let's go to our files here. Let's import loaders. Should import loaders in common.js. I think that will fix the issue. So let's go and recompile. The application is now running successfully. So let's test. Add, good, subtract, good. The full code is available in my GitHub repo. I have posted the link in the description, and if you would like to see videos of similar content in future, please subscribe, and thank you.